Stanislav, hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, fine.
Great, I can see and hear you. Good to see you. Long time no see. You were away on holiday. Went to Crimea. You must have a lot to tell. So tell me in your own words what's happening today. How do you see the situation? Will the conflict continue? Iran and the United States. Trump, with his childish statements, I am almost ashamed for him. He says things like the Strait of Hormuz will become American, all that. How do you see this situation? Will the tensions heat up again now? You have the floor.
Well, it will not become an American strait. It already is American. Trump himself has said that many times. Everything is already happening. It is all out in the open. We do not believe him. So who do we believe then? Of course the conflict will continue. Look at it this way. The best thing for America would be to leave. After that, there would of course be a huge political explosion. I mean, to leave. They will not leave. Trump cannot leave. At first, the Israelis will not let him go. There are Israeli billionaires in America too. For example, Madeleine Adelson bought the cable news network. Another billionaire with dual citizenship bought the American version of TikTok, and so on. Everything is in the hands of a very small ethnic group that controls a great deal in America, and above all controls the media. So it is very hard to break away from them. And it is that same group which, frankly, makes the Republican Party a total foreign agent, 99% bought, and the Democrats about 80%. A light foreign agent. When will he finally leave? The war will continue. Over what? That is a big question. It will be one of those endless wars again. Of course, for Europeans, this is a total disaster. Europe will have one of two options. Either go to war against Russia and be destroyed, or die from hunger, cold, and economic collapse. In fact, it is already dying economically, because right now the strait is not opening. Russia produces about 16% of the diesel the world exports, and Europe used to buy 70% of that diesel. Now Europe buys none of that diesel. From whom are they supposed to buy diesel? There is not enough diesel anymore. So that creates even bigger problems. European stupidity is off the charts. They keep trying to strike Russian oil refineries. But most of those strikes, they are hitting them again. Just like now in Ohio, one American refinery is on fire. But again, look at what is burning. A tank that holds fuel is burning. Either it holds crude oil or refined product. It is the same reason Europeans are striking targets in Russia. The Ukrainians are just cannon fodder carrying out orders. America, the Europeans, who is doing this? These are terrorist killers who are doing it. Let United States be honest after all. Not much is actually produced in Ukraine. It is all produced in Europe. Well, the Europeans are stupid. We already know that. They are genetically stupid. The smart ones died long ago in those wars. Let United States look at reality. Russia never produced enough gasoline for the summer. It always has to buy extra. Diesel, yes. They export more than enough all over the world. There is no gasoline. They started, of course, hitting the storage tanks. It still shuts a refinery down for a couple of weeks, right in the summer, during the main tourist season. Well, there was a small crisis in Russia because people started panic buying. What did Russia do in response? In the Arpolitis care more major. Well, Polos, it bought 400,000 tons of gasoline from India that was made from Russian oil. The Indians were maneuvering, but we did not sell it like that. Of course they sold. They had little choice. Do you want to keep buying Russian oil? Well, you will do what you are told. In the end, you still do not make any money. The Europeans all started applauding, laughing. Ha ha ha, now Russia will get it. They are cretins who have hardly any gray matter in their heads. Everything has atrophied long ago, because the 400,000 tons that were supposed to go to Europe are now going elsewhere. And the next purchase will be the same. And in Europe there is less and less fuel. On top of that, there is a huge drought. They are now predicting that the harvest will be 40% lower than last year. This is already a plague. Welcome to Tuber. Power plants are shutting down everywhere because there is not enough water for the nuclear stations. So there are big problems on all sides. And even coal cannot be brought into Germany in sufficient volumes because the Rhine is preventing these barges from moving. The water level has fallen so much, it has become completely shallow. So there are a lot of problems for Europe. And what is the Europeans' response? And nothing is coming from the Gulf. But there is also the war with Ukraine. What did the Europeans do with the Americans? This is 40 days of maximum pressure on Russia, because blowing up wild berries will break the Russians. Are you really that stupid? Well, first of all, they also started hitting ships, because the Western mindset cannot understand someone who neither wants to destroy you, nor is capable of doing it. That is their psychology. And those who follow them probably share that exact same mindset. I see people writing, some are reasonable, but others write really stupid stuff. They have completely fallen into that Western madness. Well, Russia escalated, closed Ukrainian ports, blew everything up. Ports are burning. Ships coming in and out are on fire. Maersk said, no way, we are not going back. None of our ships. They are the largest shipping company in the world, and everyone else is doing the same. The London market is not willing to insure ships that are almost guaranteed to burn. And the railways are open. Well, except locomotives and all the rolling stock are burning. They are being targeted across the board. And not only the Russian armed forces. Russian partisans are active everywhere. There are Russians there. After all, much of central Ukraine is Russian. And not everyone there. Many people have gone completely stupid. There are still Russians fighting there. Russian partisans are burning locomotives and everything else. So now there is nothing left. Well, repairing a railway is easy. I blow it up, you come with an excavator, fill it in, lay new rails. That would take a week, maybe. Realistically, a couple of days, maybe just one. But if there is nothing to haul the freight cars, what difference does it make how many tracks or cars I have? All that's left is trucks. Trucks can at most move 6% of Ukraine's grain. That is it. Famine. Whoa, how is that supposed to work? Well, the problem... Of course, I feel sorry for Africans and Egyptians, who will also go hungry, because Russian grain also ships out of the Black Sea. Russian grain will not be able to get out. Almost all Ukrainian grain goes to European countries, primarily. Well, Europeans will go hungry. We will see what happens next. When cold and hunger hit, those gas storage tanks that should be filled are only 30 to 50% full depending on the country. And because of the heat they are being drawn down, they should already be 85 to 90% full. Where will they get gas from? And gas is getting much more expensive. As soon as they start buying in larger volumes, prices shoot up. They are trapped in this situation now.
So everything will get more expensive by winter, gas especially. Listen, you say you feel sorry for Africans, but not for Latvians? They were already barely able to heat their homes in winter. Can you imagine fuel prices are rising several-fold right now? I do not understand how people in the Baltic states will pay for heating now. I have no damn idea.
Pardon me, I will speak very bluntly now. I do not give a damn about them. Do you know another reason why? Because the smart Latvians have already left. Some went to Russia, some went to Europe, and the dumb ones, Well, if you live in conditions where you cut your own power lines... Excuse me 1 second, I need to take a call. Sorry, 1 minute.
Yes, go ahead, no problem. Well, guys, Stanislav sometimes speaks a bit bluntly. He does not mean to. But that is how he comes across. And please do not take offense. He has seen enough and is fed up with the whole situation. And honestly, what gets to me is people's stupidity. I read the comments, and I really think, damn it, guys, pull yourselves together and start thinking, even a little. Nice, good, yeah, that's right. Yes, Stanislav, keep going, keep going.
You know, this is the 5th year, watching all this stupidity, and I am just sick of it. Sometimes you have to smack someone in the face hard to wake them up. If he does not wake up, then to hell with him. But many people do not get it when you talk to them softly. For some reason, they do not wake up until they get slapped in the face. And the Latvians, remember, Latvians, Estonians, Lithuanians, that whole so-called superhuman Baltic people, who were pushed out from everywhere and ended up settling there, like piling their crap on some country. Sometimes they feed off Russia, sometimes off someone else. They all live off the European Union, which cannot even feed itself. In February 1925, at the big ceremony, all three cut their high-voltage cables and freed themselves from the old Soviet electricity system, under which they had been receiving cheap electricity by contract from Russia and Belarus. What degenerate idiots, damn it! If they were animals, they would be extinct by now. Because such animals, if you believe in evolution, die from their own stupidity. Their electricity costs went up fourfold. They now buy power on the spot market from the Swedes, the Poles, and the Finns, who are making money off these idiots. People have apps that show them how much electricity costs. How stupid can you get? Yet that piece of cable they cut and put in 3 museums is meant to show freedom from Russia. Drop dead, damn it, you are all so stupid. Well, it is Russia's fault, somehow, anyway. Because if Russia did not exist, someone would have had to invent it, so every dumb idiot in power in Europe and elsewhere could dump all their own stupidity on someone else. And the people? What can you say about a population that tolerates such people? They are just as stupid, just as lazy, just as nasty as the people who represent them. Every nation gets the government it deserves. And I have nothing else to say. I only pity the Russian people stuck in Narva, because the Soviet Union drew new borders on territories that never existed. The Russian people have been there since the 9th century. They make up almost half of the Estonian population, because the Estonian population, especially the youth, have long since fled. That's how I see it. Yes, that upsets me. And the things Estonians, Latvians, or Lithuanians do there, how they torment themselves. What do they have left? They have nothing left but to sell themselves as a military foothold, and the leadership all hold dual citizenship. They are not going to fight. They will be the first to flee the country. I hope their planes burn while they are flying, because they most deserve to go to hell as quickly as possible. What more can I say about such people? Well, there. So the Baltic region, it never amounted to much. It was the Baltics and Finland. It has always been, to put it bluntly, the arse of Europe. Except when some other country came in and built something there. Well, it was just like that. The Crusaders came and cut down half the people. There, the Prussians. The Prussians. Prussians are the Germans of today, but they were not the original Prussians. There are no original Prussians left. They slaughtered them all. Or they gang-raped the women, those German Crusaders. Those who settled on former Prussian land are still called Prussians, but they are no longer the genetic Prussians. Long, long ago. They are just Germans now, Germans from the East. What can you say? Well, Finland. Stalin dealt with them, first off. Something was going on in Finland. It was a total backwater of the Swedish Empire. If you wanted to beat someone up, Go beat the Finns, because they are not human. The Finns did not control their land. They were just a backwater. They fell under Russia, and Russia began to build them up. It made them an autonomous realm inside the Russian Empire. They had a constitution. For the first time, they started running their own affairs. They rose within the Russian aristocracy. Russia took a smelly fishing village and built Helsinki there, a modern capital for them. Then what? They, of course, turned against Russia at the first opportunity. Well, what else could they do? And then Stalin. I do not understand why Stalin spared them. They are a people who opened concentration camps for all the non-Finnic, non-Ugric peoples when they seized parts of Karelia. They killed women and children there. They deserved no better an end than what happened in Germany. The Germans deserved total annihilation. But they did not get it, because we are not them. We are not Europeans, thank God. I never want to be European. And Europeans are lucky that Russians are not Europeans. Otherwise, they would already be gone. We would have slaughtered them all. The same thing they did to other peoples and to each other. As the saying goes, the Germans do not owe United States for what they did on our land. They owe United States for what we did not do on their land. If in 1945 we had slaughtered every last Finn, every last German, the world would have thanked United States, and the Hungarians as well, cut them all down. The world would have thanked United States. The Americans held debates about what to do with the Germans. Slaughter them to the last man. That was one side. The other side, turn them into an agrarian society and disarm every man. Eisenhower, who was actually of German descent, when Eisenhower ordered his troops to move in, to cross the Reich into Germany itself, he ordered his generals to wipe them all out. Do not take prisoners. They took prisoners. They simply did not listen to him. But there was no infrastructure ready. More than 1 million Germans died in American camps from 1944 to 1946. They simply do not talk about it much. Some Germans came forward and began telling their stories when they were already old or sick. Otherwise, nobody really spoke about it. A book came out where a couple of American historians went through the records, comparing official reports with what the camp commanders submitted, and they realized that more than 1 million Germans had disappeared. Where to? Into the grave. So if we had been like them, we would have slaughtered most of Europe. Then we would not have had those problems. We would have slaughtered the Poles too, everyone. But we are not them, and we do not do that. That is the difference with those Germans, those Europeans who shout, the Russian is not like that. None of you would have been born if the Russians had been like you. It does not matter whether it was Tsarist Russia, Soviet Russia, or modern Russia. So what?
You know, they are brainwashed from school, from kindergarten. I mean, I lived in Germany for a long time. Germany is everywhere in the textbooks there. The United States is good, it is wonderful, it is democracy. And there is constant anti-Russian propaganda, that they are somehow subhuman, that sort of thing. They show certain documentary films. Somewhere up north, they will find a village of alcoholics and show it on German television. They say, look, this is how Russia lives. That is constantly what they do. You know, and people grow up on that for generations. They soak all of it up. You know, the people themselves are, well, also to blame. They should be thinking for themselves too, in theory, right? I understand perfectly, yeah, sure.
Partly, that is true. Everything they do only confirms a cultural value that already exists. Let United States be real. These are great civilizations, and there are archives full of photos of them cutting off their slaves' hands and feet, beheading people, and entire walls with famous photographs from Indonesia.
Be a little more careful, because YouTube might ban United States.
Let United States not spell out all those horrors so explicitly. He has human trophies, so to speak, like Belgium, for example, which ran human zoos until the 1960s. For those who do not know what that is, they would bring children, women and men from their colonies and put them in cages so the local people could come and look at them. And someone could feed a black girl, some African, a banana, because she was treated like a monkey, not a human. There are tons of photos, you just need to go online and look at them. They are all there. Archive photos everywhere. Those zoos ran until the 1960s. I have photos from some of those countries. Well, what can you say? And what about the concentration camps Churchill set up in his colonies to destroy anyone who resisted the British Empire? Or did he starve 6 million Indians to death? And what about the other 100 million who simply suffered when they simply took all the rice from East India? Well, the Japanese can go to hell. What the hell difference does it make? Let them all die. They took the rice and fed England with it in 1943. But they do not really talk about that much, because, you know, it is as if we are doing this to real people. And to them, we are not real people. We are just white, and those others are black or some kind of yellow people. Well, for those Europeans, thank God I am not a European. We are not people. And it has always been that way. We irritate them even more. Because, as I have explained, we irritate Europeans at a genetic level, because when they go to Africa, to Latin America, to Asia, they see people who do not look like them. And if they do not look like United States, they tend to think differently. When they go to Russia, they see blondes, blue-eyed people, redheads, green-eyed people, people who look like them. Ah, then you should think like we do. But we do not think like they do. We have a different mentality, a different philosophy. And our Christianity, well, our version of Christianity is different, and that also irritates them. They are always trying to teach United States how to live correctly, and we do not want to learn to live by their manners. If you will not take it quietly, then take it hard, with the sword. And we also have resources. Most of Europe's resources come from Russia. What majority is there in Europe? Whatever was there, they dug up long ago. They dug it up, burned it, and everything else. These are people who did not even have ovens, and Anya Yaroslavovna brought ovens to France. Explain how they heated their castles before that, and why did such huge amounts of resources go into that? A big hearth, you light a huge fire in it. Under the fire you put stones, boulders. The boulders heat up until they are almost red. You carry those boulders into every room and put them into a special bowl. They would stoke it to heat the room. That's the European way. That was the European standard, until Anya Yaroslavovna brought them stoves. Those beautiful stoves, the Dutch, those were all brought by the Russians. Because we are barbarians, and yet we had stoves. We even had sewers. I remember, about 15 years ago in Moscow, there was an excavation. They found those wooden sewer pipes. They lifted them thinking they were just relics. But all the filth started pouring out, because the pipe was still part of the working sewer. Our ancestors made pipes out of pine. Northern pine is pretty hard. They split the logs and made pipes from them. They would bind them, clean them, and put them back in, one on top of another. A pipe that lay underground for centuries and still works fine. Meanwhile, the Europeans just threw everything into the street. And come, just three. Why did men walk in front, to the right of the women? So when the filth flew out in the morning, it would hit them, not the women. Why did they die off so often? Because their sanitation was the poorest. Rome had sewers. Rome fell apart, and everyone forgot what that was. That is the big difference, our civilization and theirs. We bathed. The French and other Catholics were so foolishly convinced that you must not wash. Why? Because they believed washing would wash away your baptism. What else did they think? That we were not true Christians, that we washed, that we went to the bathhouse. Our embassy went to the bathhouse. And what kind of Christians are they? They washed away their Christianity. They're this, and they're that.
Well, they invented perfume for that reason, to douse themselves so you would not smell it.
I'll tell you more. This happened back in America when I lived there. My wife and I, it was so boring. 40 channels and nothing to watch. We sat down and started watching a documentary about toilets. It had reached such absurdity, there was nothing left. It was late at night. We just wanted to watch a bit of television. We watched a documentary about toilets. And there was this interesting episode. Versailles, the palace for the emperor of the French Empire. The 18th century. There was not a single toilet there, not a single flush toilet. When things were normal, people simply used chamber pots. In the 18th century, even kings and emperors sat on chamber pots. Ancient Rome had toilets, damn it, but the emperor did not have one. Well, okay. What did they do when there was a big party? Hundreds of aristocrats in those huge dresses and suits. They took turns going under the stairs, and the servants would run up and clean quickly. They lifted their skirts, and to put it bluntly, relieved themselves on the floor. Then the servants would rush in to clean. The Romans had proper toilets, damn it, real latrine rooms. They even had public latrines, so people would not have to stop out on the street. But the French and the English, even in the 17th and 18th centuries, did not have them. Well, what can you say? We were barbarians. What else is there to say? We do not know how to live. They will teach United States. These are the people who 200 years ago did not know how to wash.
Someone writes, I live in Europe. Everything is fine there. Do not speak. But first of all, where in Europe? All of Europe is actually very different. I lived in Germany. Now I live in Spain. I have ridden all over Europe on a motorcycle. They are very different. For some reason, Russians think that Europe is one single thing. They are very different. They hate each other. Germans hate the Poles hate the Germans.
They hate one another no matter how many alliances they form.
Ooh. The Dutch hate the Germans too. They are not friendly at all. They may paint a picture of a united Europe, but in reality, they all hate each other.
Vanya, I will tell you a secret. Russia is 42% of Europe. 42%. That is Russia. Add Belarus, and you get another 5%. There. And soon, when half of Ukraine comes back, this artificial country, Ukraine, or rather the Russian lands, all will return. Well, we will be 50%, counting Belarusians, because that is the other half of Europe.
All right, so they hate each other. Now Ukraine will join the European Union, and everyone will love it, because everyone loves Ukrainians. They are just waiting for Ukrainians to join the European Union so they can start taking care of them.
Those Polish people.
Poles love them very much. This love is already showing strongly.
This love is expressed very physically. Every day there are videos showing how they love them, with sticks, with fists, however they choose to show that love. Oh, damn.
You know, I feel sorry for the children who, well, are not really to blame for any of this. They even beat them at school, these poor kids. They are chased and kicked, damn it. This is not just something minor, really. Well, there are many decent people, and decent Ukrainians too. I talk with them here. People fled from the war. I know a guy with kids, a truly decent guy. Yeah, and he goes, what Ukraine are you even talking about? And basically, whoever I talk to, nobody wants to return, to Ukraine.
Where would you even return to? A country that has been looting everything for 30 years? Let's be real. It is an artificial country, we understand that. Completely artificial, a Frankenstein country, made from the lands of other peoples. That is first. Artificial history. Everything artificial. They are stealing our Kievan Rus, but Kievan Rus only existed for about 200 years. After that, there was Vladimir's Rus. Some people believe that too. And actually, the whole idea of Kievan Rus was invented by Soviet historians. Nobody called it that back then. It was simply called Rus. Again, these territories, Ukraine left the Soviet Union with an economy and technological base comparable to France. Zero debt. Russia took on all of the Soviet Union's debt. All of the debt. Zero debt. In 2021, they were comparing Ukraine to Uganda. And when the president of Uganda came out furious and said, do not compare United States to them, we live better than they do. By 2021, Ukraine was already the poorest country in Europe, even surpassing Moldova. What else is there to say? I have been to Ukraine more than once. I am not saying I have relatives there. I went there several times on business. I tried working with local suppliers in the metallurgical field, the metallurgical sector. After about a week there, I told my metallurgist, we are not coming back here. You cannot work here. Even back in 2009 and 2010, the early 90s mentality remained. That Russian mentality is what Ukraine is like 20 years later. They basically sat in that shit, in the filth, and never managed to climb out. They could not grasp the idea that life in Russia is completely different. I remember discussing it with relatives. They simply could not psychologically accept it. How? Okay, maybe you are a little better off. No, damn it, we are a little better off. We live completely differently from you. They cannot understand that. Ukrainian culture is hatred, anti-Russia, anti-Poland, anti-whatever. There is no culture there, only hatred. You cannot build any civilization on that. There is no civilizational idea. Steal, run away, and hate everyone. That is why the biggest patriots of Ukraine fall into one of two categories. Those who sit in power in Ukraine and will never go to the front, or those who live in Australia, in England, or even better, in the United States or in Canada. They are extreme, I know. There are quite a few of them. Everyone's turned into over-the-top Ukrainian nationalists. Come and live in Ukraine. Before the war, not one of them even considered that. Why would I do that? Well, if you are such a patriot, live on the land you love. I love Russia, I will return to my homeland. Many others would do the same. So why don't you? If you are such an ultra-nationalist, why do you not go live in Ukraine then? Oh, because it is poor, falling apart. Yeah, right, sure. It is easy to be a patriot when you do not have to sacrifice anything for it. Just beat your chest, put up a flag, and brag about how great you are. Well, that is easy. They are all like that. So then, what about groups like Azov and the rest? When you look at them, they are just human scum. Here is another interesting thing about the Ukrainian alt-nationalists. They hate themselves. You start listening to what they say. ASPA, professors and others were saying, 40,000 of those peacekeepers will come. That was a couple years ago. And they could impregnate 100,000 Ukrainians. And we will have a new race, a superior race. Alt-nationalists who hate themselves, they hate themselves because deep down they know in their hearts they are Russian, and they have decided to hate Russians. Well, okay, how can you love your nation if you know your nation is Russian and you hate Russians? Well, you have to change it. I think this is the only exception, an anomaly. Those alt-nationalists who really hate their own nation, their own gene pool. Well, when was that? What year was it? In 2023, in the ranking of the most mentally ill countries in the world, Ukraine came in first. Such cultural policy. Well, what can you say? Of course it will be that way. Yes, I say unpleasant things. You do not have to agree with me, but that is how I see it.
No, like I said at the start of the stream, I have a translator friend here. She is called when there are problems with Ukrainians, like if they have trouble with the police or someone is causing an issue. She says, I cannot translate. It is terrifying. They often complain to her, why the hell are you speaking Russian? You should be speaking Ukrainian with me, in the Ukrainian language. After that, she does not even want to work with them. You know, where does that come from? When they themselves speak perfect Russian and she knows that. Yes, and where does this arrogance come from? This sense that we are owed something. I am not talking about everyone, of course. There are a lot of them, sadly. They even tried it on me. I speak Russian and suddenly they switch to Ukrainian and start scolding me. I say, what the hell is that? It makes you want to say, pack your suitcase, get to the station if you are such a patriot. Where does this come from? Listen, well, we hope this nonsense will end soon. Now Zelensky released a film saying, there is not enough air defense. Our poor patriot systems are standing without missiles. Oh dear, again, begging for missiles. Listen, well, no one in Europe is really stepping up to help him much, right? So, well, no one in Europe.
Why should they help him? That is exactly what it is about those Ukrainians. Kuleba popped up and opened his mouth. Yes, Vladimir Vladimirovich, the fact that he went to the Kuril Islands is an insult to all Japanese. At first, the boys and the Japanese signed an armistice, where the Kuril Islands returned to Russia. Not to mention that we sold those islands back under Tsarist Russia, the southern ones. They seized them, even took additional islands, and we got it all back. And the fact that the Japanese wiped out the local population there, I mean groups like the Manaz, Mayo, those local peoples who also live on Sakhalin, they butchered them all, wiped them out completely, because they were considered the wrong races, and the Japanese were no different from the Nazis. For some reason, they simply were not called Nazis. Militaristic Japan, Nazi Japan. And Kuleba came out saying Russia should not have those Kuril Islands, that it is all because of the Soviet Union. And the boys, how much of today's Ukraine is not yours? It would be the same if we accepted that condition, because Kuleba is an idiot of that level too. Let United States see how much of your Western territory should go to Hungary, Romania, Slovakia, Poland, and Belarus too, if we are going to talk like that, and we will not even talk about Novorossiya and Malorussia. All of that is Russian. Even those Western territories go on, hand them over. After all, Stalin annexed them in the end. So why not give them up? Like a small child who does not understand what is being talked about and is too stupid to pick up a book and read, and he jumps into every fight. Everyone's got their own problems. That is the kind of people they are. This is the leadership of Ukraine. The problem is, the leadership of Western countries is not much better. They are all, so to speak, to put it bluntly, gold sinks and the shit floats. And this is what rose to the top in the European Union. These are the people, the most inadequate people, the ones who are running the country. There is even a Latin word for when the most inadequate people rule a country. I will look up that word now. I just do not remember it. But there is such a word.
Yeah, it is not that important, really. Listen, they keep harping on it. They are always at it. Those who are trying to help Ukraine now are actually going to destroy Ukraine even more. They perfectly understand that all the aid to Ukraine is only... Yes, go on.
Like a stultocracy. Like a stultocracy. That is when the most incompetent people in the country run the country. They run the businesses and everything else. Like a stultocracy. Yes, there is.
Yeah. Listen, really look at Europeans today. They are inadequate people. Look at Merz. He has the worst approval rating ever among chancellors. It is a disgrace. Merz is a complete nightmare. Yeah.
That is also because the United States put them into power. There is a slightly different issue here. Historically, if you look, the Central Intelligence Agency created these stay-odd-behind forces. At first they were created. The first such units were set up by the Germans to fight against the Allies who were already advancing into Germany. Nobody really fought there because by 1945 there was just no fighting spirit left. There were a couple of cases where the Red Army and the Americans responded brutally. Whole villages were burned down because the people were finished. There would be no partisan war. The Central Intelligence Agency stepped in, replaced all those groups, and began building new ones from other countries. They replaced the weapons, the depots, everything. They were called stay-behind armies, rear armies, so that if the Soviet Union came, partisan units could form, and the weapons would already be in place. The Soviet Union did the same back in the 1920s, at the end of the 1920s, and the beginning of the 1930s. They were afraid the Poles would cross the border, because there was some grand idea behind it. Well, the Central Intelligence Agency set these up in all European countries, both in their allies and in non-aligned countries. Then they began using them for coups and to assassinate inconvenient politicians in Europe. That was called Operation Gladio. Operation Condor ran in parallel in Latin America. It supposedly all came out and ended around 1992, when it was exposed in the Italian parliament. They announced that all the terrorism of the last 40 to 50 years came from the Americans, and it all stopped. Well, unlikely. Meanwhile, while the Americans were killing, they also tried to kill Charles de Gaulle and his family when he wanted to separate Algeria from France. They even tried to kill him using various methods. In the end, the main people behind it were French officers and operatives from the Central Intelligence Agency. They tried to kill him, his wife and children. He did not take that kindly. He crushed them, then expelled the North Atlantic Treaty Organization from Paris and left the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Then the Americans staged a color revolution against him and removed him. Earlier, he even came with green ribbons and publicly demanded, "Give me my gold." This was right up to Bretton Woods too. After that, the dollar just took off because everyone else also came quietly. Give United States our gold back. At the same time, the Americans were grooming the people who are in power now. Van der Leyen, who worked in America and famously said, "I feel just as at home in America as in Germany." BlackRock, Mertz, and all the rest. There is that same, that former defense minister, the foreign minister of Poland. What's his name? Well, Mr. Applebaum, his wife Anne Applebaum. His son serves in the American army, and he served as Poland's foreign minister. Well, fine. Like that. And there are tons of such people. So on one side, starting in 1948, the Americans controlled Europeans with terror, murder, and so on. Das $1 semi. They will once and sell solai. They will once in your mare. This being beamed. This are I too near in palatrage. That in M. Tour. In PS being. And at the same time they began cultivating these traitors, whom they successfully put into power. And that was it. Then those traitors flooded their countries with migrants en masse. Why? Because those people are easier to control than their own. And their own they persuaded, "You do not need children. Go to work." For example, feminism. One of the main sponsors of the second wave of feminism was Rockefeller. He himself admitted it helped United States all. Why? Because, the labor force grew 1.5 to 2 times, but the number of jobs did not. That means I can now pay a lot less than I used to. Before, one man, a factory worker, could be middle class and support his whole family on one salary, and the wife stayed home with the children. A typical family setup that has worked like that for the last 10,000 years. And they broke that. They had to convince women that they did not need a husband and did not need children. You will find all your happiness working in a factory or in an office. Kids, later. And then, family love. At the same time, hourly labor costs fall a lot. Because there are far more workers now, I can be picky instead of begging people to take the job. Before, you had to save 4 or 5 months' wages to buy a new car. Now you have to take out loans. That is where the bankers start making money. So what's the problem? The next generation becomes very small, because there are no kids. Families used to have 4, 5, 6 children. Now it's 1, 2, or none. So what do we do now? There are no workers. If we leave things as they are, prices will start rising again because there will not be enough workers and the balance will return. Why would I want balance? I need to make money. I am a big company. I have large holdings. On the contrary, I need to start importing those migrants. That brings up another problem with migrants. How many people are willing to uproot themselves, go work like slaves in another country, and leave all their family ties behind? There are not that many. And then you have to find ways to motivate them. And the best way to motivate people is to destroy their countries, destroy their economies, destroy everything. Why did so many Mexicans start going to the United States in the early 1990s? There was always some movement, I remember that. But that was 2 or 3 million, not 30 million. Because when they signed that trade deal, one of its measures opened the Mexican market to American agricultural products, which make a lot of money.
Oh, something froze.
They just funnel money to big corporations through the back door. Small farmers get almost nothing. Often they get nothing at all, but the big holdings get a ton. Okay, we got disconnected.
I can hear you, but your video is gone. Try turning your camera on again, or you might have to exit. I do not know what to do. The video is gone, but I can hear you. We can hear you. Hello? Hello? Maybe we need to restart it now, guys. Okay. There you are, you're back, you're here. We can see and hear you. So, then start with you. Starting? Wife? Lay. With? Wife? Way? Way?
What was the last thing I...
No, we heard you. The audio was fine. The picture cut out. Yes, we heard almost everything you said.
Well, yes, oil came in, and the Americans were allowed to dump their agricultural produce in Mexico, and they completely flooded the Mexican market. They destroyed all those farms. They entirely wrecked Mexico's agricultural industry, and all those small villages are now left without work. Where are they supposed to go? They created those conditions so people would come and work in the United States like slaves. And that's how they come, bit by bit. And the resources and the economy get destroyed.
The Poles are also afraid of those Ukrainian agricultural goods, their grain and so on, the same thing. They do not want to see them in Europe at all. Indeed, the Poles do not exactly have love for Ukrainians. I remember when Maidan started, those Ukrainians were shouting to me. Friends were writing, "Everyone loves United States, now the Polish brothers will help United States." I read all that and began to wonder where this craziness in people's heads came from. Who put that into your heads? And at the first opportunity, here's what I noticed. They immediately start shouting Holodomor. Holodomor. Where does that come from? You see, propaganda certainly played its role, of course.
Oh, yes. Holodomor. The interesting thing is, those who shout Holodomor the loudest. They were not even in the Soviet Union at that time. They were in the Polish Republic, if you can call it that. In 1926, Poland became the second fascist country in Europe. Pilsudski carried out a coup and seized power. A Polish dictatorship began, and they even opened concentration camps for Orthodox people. They do not like to talk about that. And they were Hitler's first ally. Pilsudski, if you look at archive photos from when he died in 1934, at the funeral, look who is sitting to the right of his coffin. There is the coffin, the Polish flag in the church, and to the right sits Hitler, with the leadership of Nazi Germany in the front row. They were friends. That is Poland. Later they got a piece of Czechoslovakia, then the French and the British bought them off, and they went in another direction. Well, that is a different aspect of history. Yeah, well, everyone has issues like that. They have cut and slaughtered each other so many times, and they are ready to do it again. It is not even funny. Yes, everyone loves them, as long as they are useful. For now, well, the Poles would gladly take back Western Ukraine. They simply do not want it together with the Banderites. What is more advantageous for them? To wait as long as possible, so that as few Banderites remain alive as possible, so that they all get ground up on the Eastern Front.
I just wonder, even if Ukraine had joined the European Union, how would it have managed living next to Poland? There would surely have been some conflicts, some skirmishes.
Listen, I often talk with different Europeans. And for those who do not know, I have lived in Europe, and I have seen most of it. Not Russian Europe, I mean the rest of it. I can count the countries I have not been to on one hand, maybe one or two more fingers, like Malta, the really small ones. So they began to look down on them once Russia took that stance. Fine, admit them into the European Union. We do not mind. Why are you not opposed? Go on, take them. Bring them in so they can chew you up completely, and it will make it easier for all that organized crime and anyone else to flood into Europe. It is going to be a mess. They are already creating chaos. All those banderites running from the front, selling themselves to any armed group, from Islamists to neo-Nazis and the mob, and sooner or later they will form their own mafia. They will be killing left and right. Such chaos. The Poles have already intercepted so many weapons that were being poured through. For every vehicle they stopped, 10 more slipped through, with assault rifles and grenade launchers. Everything imaginable was being transported. Yeah, that will be just great for Europe.
There are a lot of videos, of course, showing Poles beating and driving out Ukrainians. And just imagine how much never gets filmed, how much is happening.
Yeah. Another reason why all these national leaders are ready to send all the men to their deaths. They are more than willing. Apparently, if you believe the Kyiv Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the French have already sent 40,000. And in Germany, and especially in Poland, for any little thing, any reason, even a traffic fine, they are ready to deport people to Ukraine.
Many Ukrainians have problems. I lived in Germany. One wrong step and you get fined, police involved. Ukrainians are used to living differently, so many run into legal trouble with the police and later fled Germany, very unhappy. There is a video now from Germany. Some guy escaped to Bulgaria, starts filming a Bulgarian woman and says, "Why do you Bulgarians hate United States Ukrainians? We are saving all of Europe," and starts spouting that nonsense. For some reason it embarrasses me. It is a Spanish-level embarrassment. Although Spaniards keep coming up to me and saying, "This is not United States." That is what is happening.
We are saving Ukraine, and yet he is sitting in Bulgaria. That's a typical Ukrainian nationalist. They are saving Europe.
Yes, they run around Germany and Bulgaria, saving Europe. People often say Ukraine boosted Poland's economy. But did they raise Ukraine's economy?
You know, in the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, Lviv was Limburg. Little Russians were not allowed to be in the city during the day. When the sun went down, they would enter the city, clean the streets, do what needed doing, bring supplies, that sort of thing. When the sun came up, they had to be gone, so the lords would not see them. That was the kind of relationship they had. Look how much they have historically loved one another.
Yeah, listen, again, I do not want to offend reasonable Ukrainians. I fully understand there are a lot of reasonable people as well. This is not aimed at you, right?
Yes, there are. There are reasonable people, sure. There are people who... I am not saying that everyone out there in Hochland is one of those banderites or whatever. There are quite a few people there. Many Russians, I'm afraid to say that. But there are quite a lot of Russian people there. I remember when the conflict first started, one of our fighter jets was shot down, and 2 guys ejected from the plane. One was badly wounded, and the pilot was pulling him. And they were rescued by local residents near Kyiv. They hid them in their basement until they made contact, and a helicopter could get them out. That was in the first months of the conflict. Because yes, there are quite a lot of decent people there. But again, Ukraine is an artificially created country. Anyone who does not believe it, go to Yandex, search for Ukrainization 1920s, and look at the pictures. And the images are scanned newspapers and articles from Soviet-era papers. They all talk about the success of the Ukrainization of Kyiv, Kharkiv, Kryvyi Rih, and so on. That's it. You do not have to dig very deep. It's all right under your nose. People just do not know and do not want to know. They believe political fairy tales. George Soros and his cronies, they are called satanists. They are evil, But they are not stupid. Back in the 1980s, they realized that the power lies in textbooks. They began rewriting textbooks, history, sociology, culture, and so on. That is how they rewrote them. They dig up ancient grievances for every people and stir them up again, so that nations would fight among themselves. You can make a lot of money from that and control everyone. Well, what can I say? It worked on many people, and where there is not enough, they just make it up out of thin air. Over in Kazakhstan, there are the same idiots who read these Soros-style textbooks and start claiming Kazakhstan is paradise. They say the first apple tree was from Kazakhstan. Apples grow all over the planet. It's impossible to say where the first apple tree came from. At that level. Frankly, the people the Tsarist authorities called Northern Kyrgyz, the Kazakhs, were not really there back then. There were real kingdoms there. They were nomads, who arrived later. The Mongols destroyed a couple of kingdoms when they passed through. They burned everything and killed everyone. Millions of people were killed in those territories. And here they rewrite history as they please. Everyone quarrels. They later make huge amounts of money from it. They make countries and peoples fight and profit from it. But it works. That's the problem. It works very well, very effectively. The potential is huge.
Stas, how much time do you have? I wanted to ask you a bit more about the United States.
5 or 6 minutes.
Listen, Marjorie Taylor Greene just said that behind closed doors, people often talk about attacking Iran with nuclear weapons, that Donald Trump really wants it. Is he really that desperate? I think he is desperate in some way. He cannot get anything done, so he might try to attack with nuclear weapons. Do you think they will let him do that or not? Will it lead to a nuclear conflict?
I have good contacts with people who have real ties to Vance. There are a few people left there who are reasonable. Most of the people now left in the White House are sociopaths who surround Trump and will tell him anything to stay in power. I once watched a video of a meeting of all the cabinet members. It was like something out of the 1920s Soviet Union. Yes, our great president, you have created an economy better than any that ever existed. Oh, you are so wonderful. You watch it and think, seriously? Have we really come to this? God, it is horrible to watch all of it. Vance is the only one speaking out. Well, there is also Kennedy, but Kennedy has been cornered and cannot do anything anymore. They removed all of his people from around him. He is there. He started fighting the big pharmaceutical companies. Big Pharma came, paid a lot of money, and cornered him. They have not removed him yet. Well, I think they will remove him too. They effectively removed everyone else. Vance remains. About 5 months ago, Trump wanted to fire Vance. 4 months ago, he wanted to fire Vance. Then we explained the Constitution of the United States to him, because Trump has never read the Constitution. Why would he? You cannot fire the vice president.
Damn, he disappeared again.
The president.
Now he is back. He disappeared for a bit. Now he is back again. The Constitution does not allow firing the president. Yes, yes.
Yes, you cannot fire him. The Constitution does not allow it. He can be jailed if he is a criminal. He could die, or he could leave for health reasons. But it is impossible to fire him. In the early days of the United States, vice presidents were elected separately from presidents. So there could be cases where the president and vice president were from different parties, but later they combined them, because it was a system that simply did not allow normal functioning. But you cannot fire him. What I have been told is that twice now Trump and General Keane stood and shouted at each other. Trump demanded the launch codes and to start striking with nuclear weapons, and he said, no, we are not going to commit that kind of war crime. So this is a person who is very, very unstable. And you can tell that just from his speeches. Look how he talked in 2016. Now look how he talks. He used to be funny, could work the room, all that. Now he speaks like a 10 to 12-year-old. His vocabulary is at the level of a 10 to 12-year-old. He speaks in short phrases. He lies non-stop even when everyone can see he is lying. He has damage to the front part of his brain that controls emotions and also affects logic and speech. Information does get through, but he cannot process it correctly. He cannot control his emotions, and that is where his big problem starts. But that is what happens. And yes, plus he is under enormous pressure. Look at who controls the media and everything in the United States. And all those people have dual citizenship. You have to ask, dual citizens of which country? God knows how many people in Congress have dual citizenship. One senator went after October 7th there. October 7th, I think. He was running around Congress in an Israeli military uniform. Man, that is just insane. In Israel, in the Knesset, only one citizenship is allowed for members of parliament. They have to renounce the other one. In the United States, they themselves enable it. Well, it benefits them.
Kushner is now going to Netanyahu to try to persuade him to accept Trump's peace plan. But I think he is going to get instructions for Trump, or something like that seems more likely.
The Kushner family and the Netanyahu family are very close. Where I wonder are Netanyahu's wife and son. They are in Miami. He lives outside Israel. He is not going to fight. And Kushner himself has told that story, which is funny, because his family is unbelievably wealthy. When Netanyahu visited them, back when he was just starting out in politics, poor kid Kushner had to give up his bedroom, his bed, so Uncle Benjamin Netanyahu would have somewhere to sleep. How many bedrooms are in your palace? Only 2? 3? How is that supposed to make sense? Those are the kinds of stories he told. You can hear it. Man, it gets down to utter idiocy. Well, like that. Those are the kind of people. They are all very close. That is undeniable. They have a problem right now. Admiral Cooper is completely in Israel's pocket, and the previous commander was also Israel's favorite general. But Keelan is not. Keelan stands in the way of nuclear weapons. But Israel would gladly use nuclear weapons. Right now, the problem for Israel in America is that they are in deep trouble. They have even lost young Jewish people. Jews in America. You know, young Jews just cannot stand Israel anymore. And for traditional Jews, Israel is a curse. Because if you talk to traditional Jews, they think they are being punished by God. And until Moses returns, Jews are not supposed to have their own state. Any such state is seen as devilish, as satanic. So for them, the Khazars or modern Israelis, it is all Satanism. That is how they see it. So they have lost the youth, because for 2 years there have been videos and photos. Why did TikTok get bought out by Zionists? Because on TikTok, on the American TikTok, there were too many photos and videos showing them killing children, and that has a very negative effect. Now the bulk of people who still mainly support Israel are Republicans aged 55 and older, and those are the evangelicals. Not all evangelicals, but those heretical Christian Zionists. They have effectively lost everyone else. At half the demonstrations in America, there are Jews in the front lines protesting against Israel. Young Jews. They have big problems with this. But now they are trying to move however they can, and big fights have started because they noticed something in a huge bill. In America, there are mega bills, maybe 10,000 pages, and nobody reads them. Maybe some people read the pages where they put their own items, maybe only those. If lobbyists had pages added to a bill, why would anyone read it? No, I already got the money for that. That is the effect. This is not like Russian barbarians who have these idiotic rules where you must read an entire bill aloud before most of the parliament. 2 readings. Minimally 2, sometimes 3. Somebody actually reads something in America. If there are thousands of pages, everyone just votes yes or no, and that is it. And it passes. Well, in this bill they found that first, It tries to insert Israel right into the system, effectively making it part of the American military framework. Now Israel would get a huge loan from America. Those loans can only be spent on American equipment, but again, everything goes through the State Department, and there is a group that reviews it. This very group in the world looks at the equipment Israel wants to buy from the Americans and says, no, this is too classified. This technology will not work for United States. It is not politically beneficial. This bill tries to place Israel in the middle, as if it would be just a new branch of the American armed forces, and then you could order whatever you want and have access to any technology, even any classified technologies. And there is another bill that Senator Cotton is pushing. They want to put the Israeli Mossad in the middle of all the American intelligence agencies, so it would have full access to all data. Under that law, only the president could refuse to give something to the Israelis, and then he would have to go and report to Congress. A country of 7 or 8 million would be able to hold a country of over 300 million completely by the throat and by the balls, like that, if that bill passes. There are a lot of scandals now, but it looks like it might actually pass. They tried to push it through quietly, but scandals started, someone noticed, it all came out and hit the news. Well, what kind of news is there? The big companies, of course, are not saying a word about it. World media ran it. It was covered pretty prominently there, that Thomas Massie and others started pushing to put it to a vote, instead of just sneaking this law in as part of a massive bill. Yeah, things like that. Yeah.
Got it. Well, Stanislav, thank you so much for your talk. As always, it was very interesting, and you come across as a very kind, measured person.
I try, but after 5 years, my patience is much thinner.
Yeah, sometimes I just want to swear. Honestly, it is hard to hold back, but I try. You have to stay human no matter what. Listen, this September it looks like there will be a whole new wave of events. I think it will start this fall, so what will things be like by winter? I mean, the price increases fuel, for example. I honestly do not know how things in Europe will go with these rising prices. Some people write that everything in Europe is stable. Stable? What the hell are they talking about? Stable where? Gasoline is expensive here, but in Spain it is more or less reasonable. Diesel here costs about €2.05, but in Germany diesel is around €2.50. Just imagine a liter of diesel at €2.50. What is that? How are ordinary people supposed to keep driving their cars? Can you imagine those prices?
You are not supposed to be in a car. Now we will have the 15-minute... You know what a 15-minute city is?
Yes, we have discussed that topic, of course. Well, damn, I do not know how they will push all this through. And as soon as they started talking about the 15-minute city, and Stanislav,